I'm sorry for the last week. I was extremely sick, and you can see that I'm not 100% recovered, but I'm much better now, and life is back to its regular pace. And I hope that you used that time to work on your late assignments and catch up on the reading that you haven't done. Yes, Muhammad Yusuf.
Yeah, I had a question in regards to the assignment. So
Yes,
there's no way to upload it to the system. So I don't know if we need to email it to you or you will
yes,
open.
yes. Email it to me. Yeah.
Okay, I have the first draft and I wanted to share it with you this week.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Email it to me, and other students also emailed it to me. Actually, they emailed it too early, and I asked them to take their times. When you are working on your assignment, if there are certain information that is not available to you, assume some information, or use what is missing as a recommendation. What do you recommend? For example, you don't know if they have like a network of warehouses, or it's just one big distribution center. If you can't find this piece of information, maybe you can recommend which is best and why. Also, try to use some diagrams. Usually, um, uh, my advice is to try to convey the information not only by writing, but also include some visual representation. And in the book, for example, you will find there are so many visual representation and simple diagrams. So this week we will talk about warehousing, materials handling, and packaging. Um, any one of you has some experience in this field? Did you, by any chance, worked in a company and you had access to the warehouse? Yes, Muhammad?
Yeah, actually, my field is like warehousing and logistics. So
Oh, good.
I started in a fulfillment center like 5 years ago.
Hmm.
Now I'm in a delivery station.
Okay, which company?
I work for Amazon.
Okay, yes, yes. Where in the world? North America or?
So I'm in Calgary, Alberta.
Yes.
I started in. I'm not. I don't know if you are familiar with the coding for Amazon warehouses. So I started in YYC1 five
Mm-hmm.
years ago.
And what is that? No, I'm not
It,
familiar
it's
with
it
these codes.
okay. It's a fulfillment center, so it's a
Mhm.
huge warehouse
Yes.
where Amazon receives the goods from the customers, from
Mm-hmm.
the vendors.
Mm-hmm.
They receive it, store it in their facility, and based on the customer order, they will start sorting,
Mm-hmm.
packing, and they dispatch it to the delivery station.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm also in Canada, in Kitchener, Waterloo, and I teach in another university, and I have so many students who work for Amazon, because I believe they have like an army. Um, uh, you know,
In Canada, they have like tens of thousands of employees.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And also, I was teaching another subject, business administration, and we talked about laws and human resources. And few years ago, we had some scandal with Amazon. I think during the pandemic, and even before the pandemic. Um, they applied the American way of managing their human resources, and it didn't work here in Canada. Yeah.
Oh, I cannot like discuss this kind of information.
Yes,
What?
yes,
What?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
But
but in our case, we used what's available online.
yeah. So,
Yeah, so it
what
was
what I can
public
tell you,
domain information. Yeah.
yeah, what I can tell you, even the American style of like management,
Mm.
they are like it's very hard for me to like to discuss without disclosing some sensitive information. But what I can say, in America they have unions,
Oh, yeah.
in Canada they don't. So that
No,
is
we
that's a huge
have unions, but not in every industry.
no, no. I mean, in Amazon they are not unionized.
Yes, yes, yes. And that was, and even there is a documentary on YouTube that any one of you can watch and see if you are interested. So let's go back. So okay, please share with us your wisdom, um, and maybe if you have some examples that you can share with us, this will be great. So today we will talk about warehousing and material handling and packaging, and there are a lot to unpack. So let's have a closer look here. These are an integrated functional area in the context of supply chain. I always ask you to think end to end. How what we are talking about fits in the larger scheme of supply chain management. So when we say warehousing, we refer to the physical storage of goods. Uh, Typically, we have designated facilities, of course, warehouses, and traditionally it has been considered as a place to hold or store inventory until it is needed for further processing, distribution, sale. However, in the context of the integrated supply chain, warehousing plays a crucial role in ensuring efficient inventory management. It's not just a place to hold some goods. No, we need to manage inventory. We need to fulfill orders. That's why Muhammad, when he was sharing with us, the title or the name for this big facility, fulfillment center. Okay, people are joining. Okay. And we need to ensure that we design this in a way that facilitate timely delivery to our customers. So, and we will talk about other important aspects. Also, material handling. So here we are talking about the again the physical movement of not only goods, but also goods, products, packaging material, also control transportation and control of goods within and between various points in the supply chain. So, for example, we will be talking about loading, unloading, sorting, transporting products. So this is a basic function, but it has again significant impact on the overall efficiency of the supply chain. And we also, talk a lot about the total costs and cost effectiveness of the supply chain. Also packaging. So the packaging is the process of uh, what I can say, wrapping or enclosing the products. So we are dealing with in some protective material or protective containers to make sure that it's safe during the storage and during the transportation. And also, we wanted this packaging to be appealing you know. So it has some sort of interesting visuals, so it appeals to the customers. And another thing, the packaging, it has to maintain or preserve the quality of the product. And we want to minimize the risk of damage during handling and the transportation. So of course there are certain functionality that we will talk about. So warehousing functionality evolved beyond just the mere storage of facility. And now we think of warehousing as a strategic component in the supply chain. And we see the role of warehousing in light of meeting customer requirements and satisfying our customers. So that's why now we are talking about modern warehousing. And now we are talking about more sophisticated inventory management systems, automation, advanced technology, streamlining operations. So, and now, almost all companies have some e-commerce arm. Even if they are brick and mortar, you will find that so many companies are offering delivery, or maybe pickup, or maybe you will uh, order the product online, and it will come from another branch or another warehouse, and you will receive it in the nearest branch to you, for example. So we are talking about efficient warehousing. We are talking about real-time inventory tracking, automated order processing, um, intelligent order picking, automation, um, and strategic warehousing locations. Selecting the right location is also very, very important. Why? Because we want to minimize transportation costs. We want to reduce delivery lead time. So location is very important. And also the increase or the rise of e-commerce, now it's not a trend, it's a must. It has revolutionized material handling, making it again significant and strategic investment for the company. And we have, you know unprecedented volume of online orders, and this demand quick deliveries. So companies started to invest in advanced material handling technologies and processes to handle the complexity of order fulfillment. So, for example, when I'm placing an order with Amazon, um, my order might come from different vendors. Part of my order will come from the fulfillment center, so something is available immediately. Some part will come from another um, uh, vendor, and I have orders coming from India, for example, and it is part of a bigger order. So I think this adds more complexity, because the, you, you fulfill this order, this order partially. I received the part of the order the next day, the next morning, and the rest of the order came from India, and I had to wait for 12 days to receive this. And uh, same for the packaging. Now we have significant evolution in packaging, and we have So many considerations. Um, eh, and packaging is important because it's part of um, marketing. It's a marketing element, and it's sometimes a part of the product itself. When we are designing the product, we design the packaging, because companies use the packaging to create this experience. Have you seen those YouTubers having these videos unpacking blah blah blah? So the packaging, the first thing they talk about is packaging, how it is appealing, how it is creating this experience, you know. So why do we need to take care, or to really understand warehousing, and what do we mean by strategic warehousing? So there are several reasons, and each of these reasons plays a crucial role in ensuring efficient operations, because our ultimate goal is efficiency and meeting customer requirements. So the first reason for this notion of strategic warehousing is uncertainty in demand and supply and lead time. So, by thinking of warehousing strategically, we can address these uncertainties related to, for example, fluctuations in demand, supply, lead time. So, demand can vary over time. The production levels may not always match the immediate demand. Also, suppliers, they may experience delays or disruptions. So these are some of the uncertainty that we are dealing with. So at some point, the warehouse will work as a buffer, and this will allow the company to uh, sometimes store excess inventory during certain periods of low demand, or when the supply is already available. So during time of high demand, or when we have some constraints that will limit the supply, uh, the warehouse can release the inventory to meet customer needs and production requirements. So we can reduce the impact of uncertainty on the supply chain. Um, the second reason is manufacturing economies. So sometimes we call it production smoothing. So again, the warehousing facilitate production smoothing by allowing the manufacturer to produce goods in larger quantities, taking advantage of economies of scale. Remember, we can negotiate better prices. Instead of producing small batches frequently, which can be costly and time consuming, the manufacturer can produce the product in large quantities and store the excess inventory in warehouses. Of course, if we think lean manufacturing, this is not the case. Actually, the lean philosophy is designed around just producing what we need. But this requires a very, very efficient, like well lubricated machine to support this. And it might not work in other, in all industries, or in all areas of the world. So we have both philosophies, and it depends on how well the supply chain is designed. And also we have transportation economies. We might get some volume discounts. So the warehousing supports transportation economies by um, enabling the company to take advantage of volume discounts offered by the carriers. And actually, carriers prefer this. So I prefer working with a less number of companies for the whole year. And of course there are some minimum requirements, so we can negotiate the price. And of course, customer service support. Now warehousing as a strategic function or operation uh, can help the company, provide efficient and responsive a customer service. So, for example, if we have an online retailer, but this retailer has strategically located warehouses. So this can offer faster shipping options to customers, for example. And of course, this will give a positive customer experience, and of course, potentially a competitive advantage over competitors. And the prime example is Amazon, but actually there are other companies now that they are using this approach, just fulfilling the order in 2 days or something like this. So there are certain requirements for the warehouse. Of course, we start with the cost. And when we talk about the cost, we are more interested in the total cost. And eh, you know, we locate our warehouses strategically to optimize the flow of goods, to reduce the overall transportation costs. And also, we want to minimize the inventory carrying costs. Every step um, uh, uh, um, uh, is costly. So we need to minimize the total cost. So by positioning warehouses strategically, we can streamline the supply chain operations and achieve cost efficiencies. And of course, we need to improve customer service. So again, we locate the warehouses strategically to ensure prompt and efficient order fulfillment. And actually, experts spend some time scouting locations. We have, for example, talent scouts. They go to schools and they see little kids playing. We have location scouts. Um, so they go to certain cities, certain commercial locations, and they will see, and they will have so many calculations to decide if this is a good strategic location or not. So they might start calculating the lead times, the transportation in place, the cost of carrying the inventory in this particular location. Um, we have also what we call customer accommodation. You know, so how we can serve our customers. So we need to store the finished products in a way that will enable us to fulfill the customer orders promptly. And so the not only the location, but the design of the warehouse itself will facilitate order picking, packing, and shipping, and of course managing inventory, so we can avoid stock outs or overstock situations. So that's why the keyword here is optimum stock level or levels. And of course, we again, when we are thinking of strategic warehousing, we think of service benefits. Um, so it's the operational strategy to add value within the supply chain process, how we can improve our customer service. Another important thing, order consolidation. So the warehouse will allow the company to consolidate multiple products from different suppliers into a single shipment. So this will reduce the shipping costs and streamline the distribution process. Also, order fulfillment flexibility. So we are storing the inventory in the warehouse, so the company can quickly respond to fluctuation in supply and demand, and accommodating varying customer requirements. Also, we need to think of buffer stock. Again, this might not be the case if the company is applying lean or just-in-time strategies. But again, so many companies, they need this buffer stock, so we can store excess inventory during certain periods or uh, certain times, and release these inventories during periods of high demand. And this could be the case in those industries that has um, some seasonality. And also very important is risk mitigation. So how the warehouse design and location can help me mitigate some of the risks may be associated with other parts of the supply chain. So we can avoid any disruption in the supply chain. So I'm just thinking exactly the other parts, because you're supposed to read your material. Um, I'm not 100% sure if you are reading your material or not. Hmm. So again, we are still talking about warehousing and the benefits. So some of the benefits are related to the service. So the company will decide on stocking strategies. So for example, we have a spot stock near customer. Um, in this strategy, we locate warehouses strategically near the customer, or in specific um, geographical areas that will make it easier for the company to meet seasonal demand spikes, for example. Um, um, so, for example, again, retail company. So this retail company have winter clothing, summer clothing, spring, or whatever. So the company might stock winter clothing in warehouses located in regions with colder climates during the summer months. So this stock will be ready for the seasonal demand surge. Also, another strategy is full line stocking. So inventory in anticipation of orders. So the warehouses maintain a comprehensive inventory of wide range of products, anticipating customer orders and providing them with a diverse selection of products for quick availability. I think Amazon applies this full line stocking, um, because Amazon is an online marketplace or a huge warehouse, actually. So they stock various brands, you know, models of the same products. So these products will be available immediately to fulfill a customer order without relying heavily on direct shipments from individual manufacturers. That's why sometimes when you buy from Amazon, they will say fulfilled by Amazon. It means that this inventory is available at Amazon warehouses and they can deliver it themselves. Other products, you will not this written. Another strategy is stocking to support the production facility. Uh, Here, the warehouse is a place to stock raw materials or components, or sometimes work in progress items. So, this warehouse is actually serving the manufacturing process. So, not all warehouses are designed to house the final product. So, this enables a smooth production flow and minimize disruption in the manufacturing facility. So here we think of where I can locate this warehouse to serve the manufacturing best. I worked in automotive industry, not in for example Hyundai or Honda or whatever. I was working in a company, and actually we call it automotive feeding industry. So we were manufacturing products that these companies will acquire from us for their production. And uh, we had a warehouse for our final products that's closer to these companies. So it will be easier for us to be closer to um, our company. At the same time, we had a warehouse, another warehouse, very close to the factory, so we can have access to the raw material and the components, so we can guarantee uninterrupted production process. Um, Sometimes the strategy is or the product is will change its form for for example in paper. So companies who work in paper industry, they might receive the raw material as a big huge roll, and the company cut the paper into sizes. So again, the design of of the warehouse will be very specific. And so it will facilitate this changing form of the product. And you will find that there are some services that value adding in the warehousing, and these might be some activities that go beyond the traditional storage and distribution. Of course, I'm not going to explain all these points, so you need to do some readings, but I'll choose some of maybe the new ones. So, for example, kitting. Kitting. It's like a kit. So we assemble individual items into a kit or sets, and this will make it easier for handling distribution and sales to the customer. Of course, we have important functions like labeling. or pre-ticketing. So we will add in the warehouse some product labels or pre-ticket price tags, for example, to the items to expedite the retail sales process. What else? Mass customization. So some product features could be customized to serve the client. What comes to my mind, because I buy lots of fashion, you know, I'm a fashionista. Some companies will offer to alter the dimensions of the item you are purchasing. So, for example, some companies, you know, sell jackets. So back in the day, you buy the jacket with the standard dimensions, of course, and if you need alteration, you go to a tailor and you alter it. Some companies started this service now, especially in menswear suits or expensive jackets for women, for example. So I can add some specific alteration, and they do this. So perhaps in the warehouse they have a small station for this customization, or maybe choosing a different color for the cover of something or something like this. What Pool distribution, for example. So in the warehouse, we can consolidate products from multiple suppliers into a pool distribution center. Again, we do this for efficient delivery to various retail locations. So there are so many functionalities that we can do in the warehouse. Um, and these benefits might include some economic benefits. So we can consolidate and break bulk. So in the warehouse, we can do the consolidation of products from multiple suppliers into larger shipments, which can lead to significant transportation cost benefits. Also sorting, or sometimes we call it cross dock. So we do the sorting inside the warehouse. So you can see now the warehouse is not, it's like an operation center. It's becoming an operation center here. Another thing is seasonal storage. Also, we do something like reverse logistics. So product returns. So we have logistics taking the product to the customer, and we have reverse logistics when we take when the customer returns the product back to the company. So the warehouse manages this process. So again, there is processing of the returned products, sorting, refurbishment, refurbishment, or sometimes disposal of the return items. So we call this reverse logistics. So here is an example of consolidation. So we have different plants, and goods are transported from these different plants or maybe suppliers, and we do the consolidation in a warehouse. So this time it's a consolidation warehouse. Here is another. This is break bulk. This is the opposite. So yes, it comes from one plant or one supplier, and then in the warehouse, it's routed to different customers. In the consolidation, it goes to all the customers in the same place. So we might have a retail brick and mortar. For example, Walmart. Walmart has so many products. So these products come from different suppliers, and it goes to a consolidation warehouse. And this Walmart branch will place some order to the consolidation warehouse. And the consolidation warehouse will send a shipment, of course, that include different products to this retail center. Here, it's different. They receive the shipment and then they break it, and they fulfill different orders to different customers. Here we call cross dock. So we receive from different suppliers and we ship to different customers. I think Amazon is a cross dock. They receive from different suppliers and they fulfill orders from different customers. Yes, Muhammad?
I just wanted to highlight something. So in
Mm-hmm.
the consolidation centers, what you mentioned, in Amazon, they call it sort centers.
Mm-hmm.
So the
Mm-hmm.
sort centers will receive uh, orders from different FCs. They
Mm-hmm.
will sort it and send it to delivery stations.
What FCs?
Fulfillment center, sorry.
Okay, fulfillment center. No, no, no. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's because every company has its lingo,
yeah.
and sometimes the abbreviations need us to think. Okay, what do you mean by this? Yeah.
Yeah, and the cross dock terminology is
Mm.
when a fulfillment center receives we call it reactive shipment. So the reactive shipment means it was received in a different facility
Mm-hmm.
and it has been sent to a second facility to process it. So
Mm-hmm.
it was received first in
Mm-hmm.
the facility, already sorted in a container. We call it yellow totes. So yellow totes is a plastic totes like
Mm-hmm.
in a specific shape. So they will sort it in the totes
Mm-hmm.
and then ship it to a different fulfillment center to process it and send it to the customer.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think they are the same like description, but in a different terminology. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Uh, um, so here, for example, we have another in transit mixing example. So one major difference with the mixing facility, I think this is what you are talking about. So the eh, in the operation center or the fulfillment center, you might have already some products stored in the warehouse, and you still also receive some products from suppliers, and again you send it. See here, uh, customer A, the product they asked is A and C, A and C. So we are mixing here. Uh, uh, Customer B, the order has B, C, D, all of these. A customer C has other products. So I think it's something similar to this, Muhammad, right? What do you think?
Sorry, I was muted. What was the question?
Here we call it in transit mixing.
Yeah.
So the warehouse has some products stored in the warehouse. And
Correct.
also they receive products from suppliers or other plants. And
Correct.
here in this in transit mixing point, they will consolidate the order. So see
Yeah.
here, customer A, the order has product A and C.
Okay.
Customer B has B, C, and D is already stored in the facility.
Correct. So in Amazon, we call this mid-mile or
Mm-hmm,
sort center. So
mm-hmm,
there is like three different miles in Amazon: first mile, mid-mile, and last mile. So first mile
mm-hmm,
will be the fulfillment center, where they receive the product,
mm-hmm,
store it, and pack it if, based on the customer order.
mm-hmm,
Then the mid mile or the sort center, where the warehouses will send all the bagged orders to a smaller facility or a
mm-hmm,
warehouse to consolidate, as you mentioned, or to sort, as we use as a terminology in
mm-hmm,
Amazon. So they will sort all those orders based on the delivery station location,
mm-hmm,
because sometimes in the sort center they will send, let's say, from Calgary to Ontario,
mm-hmm,
or from Ontario to BC.
mm-hmm,
So the what those mid mile or sort center will do will sort the orders based on the location of delivery station.
mm-hmm,
And of course, as you mentioned, you might receive the customer A order from Calgary, send it to Ontario delivery station, and the second order for the same customer will be received from one of the fulfillment center in Ontario. It
mm-hmm,
will be sorted in this mid-mile sort center, and then sent to the delivery station based on the geographical like assignment. So
mm-hmm,
because in every city you will have different delivery stations, and they have assigned geographical areas. So every
mm-hmm,
delivery station will deliver in a specific geographical area, and the
mm-hmm,
other one, let's say in Calgary, we have two delivery stations. So the city will be divided 50% for the first delivery station, 50% for the second delivery station. So
mm-hmm,
in those mid-mile sort centers, they will sort the orders based on the delivery location and based on the delivery station itself.
mm-hmm. Here is a very important point. When we say order, the order has products A and C. It's not, there is two different orders. A is in one order with a tracking number, and C, product C, is in a different order. No, it's one order, but it has products, but the location of these products are not the same warehouse. So that's why we need these consolidation, different approaches to consolidation depending on where the products are coming, and they will get consolidated in one point and then sent to the customer.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also there is like two different approaches in Amazon for consolidating those orders.
Mm-hmm,
So number one, in the fulfillment center, if the order is ready, let's say you place your order today,
mm-hmm,
and the delivery is in 3 days.
mm-hmm,
So you have two options. Option number one, because we still have time for the order to be fulfilled.
mm-hmm,
So option number one, that this order will be sent from a different fulfillment center, which is cross-dock, as we mentioned in the beginning.
mm-hmm,
Then the fulfillment center will pack all the items in one package or
mm-hmm,
in one box.
mm-hmm,
Okay, so this is option number one. Option number two is to pack whatever is ready in this fulfillment center.
partial.
Yes,
Mm-hmm,
and pack the other item from the different FC in a different package, and then both packages will be sent
mm-hmm,
to the mid-mile sort center.
mm-hmm,
And also you have two options here: either to send them And the same time, if the delivery time is set, let's say it's a prime, like 2 days delivery, you will
Mm-hmm.
receive both items in two different boxes, fulfilled in two different facilities
Mm-hmm.
at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or you will receive your orders like separately. So sometimes you place one order, but you receive two different shipments in two
Yes.
different days.
Yes. Yes. I'm a Prime
Member?
customer, and
Yeah.
yes, and this happens. Yeah, and this happens. So it's one order, but we receive it, for example, three different shipments, but the same day. So yeah, yeah. Uh, so let's talk about something different. Seasonal storage. So again, here we are storing some products in preparation for anticipated seasonal fluctuation in demand. So again, it depends on the industry. So seasonal production is when these goods are produced for a specific time or times during the year to meet the demand patterns. Now we have patterns. Again, these patterns are decided by the seasonality or specific events. And here we need to think of some of the challenges. For example, we might have excess inventory during off-peak periods. Efficiently distributing the products during peak periods. Uh, so we might use some seasonal storage facilities to store the produced goods until we reach the peak season or the peak period. For example, agriculture products. Uh, Certain fruits or vegetables have limited growing seasons when it depends on the weather conditions. So, for example, strawberries might be available for harvest only during summer or spring. But the demand on strawberries, especially I'm talking about North America, in some areas in the world, people are very custom of this seasonality. Um, and it's okay that certain fruits or vegetables are not available in other seasons. But here in North America, now we demand strawberries all throughout the year. So to meet this demand year round, farmers have this seasonal production during the harvest season, and they store the excess produce in refrigerated warehouses for distribution and sale during the off season. Um, um, and we have seasonal demand. So we were talking about seasonal production. Now we have seasonal demand. The demand itself is related to a specific season, not the production. So the demand will fluctuate due to seasonal factors or specific events. So we will produce these products, uh, but we need to anticipate the demand fluctuation. So we need to have some storage arrangements to keep these products so we can meet the heightened demand during peak periods. Um, for example, summer furniture, patio or garden furniture. Here in Canada, we have very a small window of sunshine and summer month, spring. So at that time, we only have the ability to have some outdoor activities, some barbecuing, inviting friends to the house and have a barbecue or something like this. So we think of the patio furniture not all year, because actually we don't use our patios, we don't use our backyards or our gardens during the majority of the year. So to accommodate this seasonal demand, the manufacturers and retailers will use some seasonal storage solutions to stock up some inventory during the non-peak seasons. But when the demand uh, uh, goes high, we can fulfill this demand, and it's very important, without burdening the production facilities. So the production facility and production rates will not jump heavily to meet the peak season demand. So we try to balance inventory levels more effectively, optimize our supply chain to ensure that we are well prepared to meet the fluctuation or the fluctuating demands. Again, if the company is utilizing lean concepts, they will use a different approach. So they will accommodate the heightened production rate in favor of having the just or the optimum amount of raw material components, and they will not have this seasonal storage. I talked in a couple of slides back about the reverse logistics processing. And actually, this is becoming a stable in supply chain. Why? Because eh, customers expect that if I don't like the product, or I decided for no reason that I don't want this product, I will have the ability to send it back, get my money, or have some credit, or maybe send me another product that is functioning or something like this. So reverse logistics are becoming very, very important. So in reverse logistics, we manage products or materials or components that move uh, uh, reverse or backward in the supply chain, typically from the customer back to the manufacturer or the distributor. So we have product returns, repairs, remanufacturing, um, uh, remarketing, or recycling. For example, now when I order something from um, uh, what's their name? Sobeys online, a grocery order, for example, they will tell you, if you have something to be recycled, we can take it. So they take the plastic bags or some parts of the packaging, and they will do the recycling themselves, or sometimes disposal. So they if I got a new washing machine and I have the old one, included in the service, that they will take the old washing machine, and they will bring the new washing machine. So they will handle the disposal. Or sometimes we might have some hazardous materials. Uh, we have also something here in North America. I'm not sure if it is in everywhere, but it's called the product recalls. So, for example, in Costco, um, they discovered that certain products have bacteria or germs or something like this. So they will recall the product. So customers will bring back these products, and they will get, of course, their money back or something like this. And the retailer will take these products to the suppliers. So again, it's part of the reverse logistic process. So again, we need effectively to manage reverse logistics because it's hard to satisfy customers. And also, we want to minimize waste. We want to optimize the value recovery from these returned products. So maybe it's the product is functioning, it's very good, but the customer decided that I'm not going to have it. So Amazon actually is very good in this. They will sometimes sell return products, and we have here so many immigrants, for example. They go and they will buy these lots of return products, and they will uh, uh, rent a warehouse, and they will have their products available in certain days, and customers, they will go and they will find and they will buy the returned products. So that's very interesting business model. Okay. Mm. Yeah, this is very interesting. I will talk about this. The ownership of the warehouse. So there are certain models of warehouse ownership. Um, eh, some companies will have their private warehousing. So the warehouse itself is owned and operated by the company that owns the products or produce the products. So in this arrangement, the company has full control over the warehouse operations. And this type of ownership provides high degree of flexibility and customization so the company can meet their specific needs. Some of the advantages of private ownership is control, as I said. So the company has full control over the operations of the warehouse. They tailor the processes and procedures to optimize the efficiency. Flexibility. So the company, again, can adjust the warehouse layout, the staffing, the processes, again, based on their needs, based on maybe the changing in demands or seasonality or the requirements. And also it allows for cost control. So this direct ownership can offer long-term cost advantages because I already have this facility owned by the company. But it's not 100% advantages. Some disadvantages is capital investment. Maybe I don't have the capital investment, the money upfront to own this facility. Another thing, fixed cost. Yes, I can control the cost, but this comes with a huge or a big fixed cost. And companies, they will try to minimize fixed costs as much as we can, because fixed cost means that even if the warehouse is empty, I still need to pay, for example, for a mortgage um, uh, um, associated with this warehouse. I have to pay salaries for the people who work in the warehouse. I need to pay for certain cost elements. So again, some fixed cost of maintaining and operating the facility, whether I have low activity periods or high activity periods. Another ownership model is public warehousing. Again, I'm not familiar with other countries, but here in North America, we have companies that are their whole business is built on having some public warehousing. Uh, so public warehousing means that outsourcing warehousing operations to third-party logistics providers. And the contract at this time will be pay for service. Okay, so these companies, these third-party logistics companies, will own and operate the warehouses, and they will provide storage and distribution service for multiple clients. So this type of warehousing, the public warehouses, are suitable for companies with fluctuating storage demands or needs, or those looking to avoid capital costs. I don't have capital investment to pay upfront, or I don't have the capacity to operate and manage our own facility. Our focus is on production, and I don't have the human resources to manage this facility, for example. So some of the advantages will be cost flexibility, because I'm paying for the service. If I need the service, I will pay for it. If I don't need it, I'm not going to pay for it. And this will be helpful at the low activity or low demand period. Also specialization. So these third-party companies, they will offer specialized facilities, for example, refrigerated storage, or certain arrangement that cater to specific products. So some companies, for example, are specialized in perishable products. So they have the expertise, the knowledge, the experience in managing and handling and storing this type of products. Also scalability. So the company can easily scale up or down the storage space, again, based on the changing needs. The same thing that happened with the coast, it will be the whole storage needs. However, uh, again, because you don't have full control of this warehouse facility, you have limited customization options compared to the private warehouse. Let's talk about the last one, and then we will have a 10 minutes break, and then we will come for an exercise. The last type is contract warehousing. So this is a hybrid model between public warehousing and private ownership. So in this model, the company will partner with specialized third-party provider for a long term. They will customize the warehousing solution. So in this case, the third party will be like a niche expert, and they will tailor their services for the specific needs for the company. But again, the contract is long term. So it's a mix between these two models. So of course, we gain customization because the operations will align with my requirements and will fit within my existing operations. And of course, this will increase the flexibility because it's a long-term contract. So the agreement can be more flexible than owning my private warehouse. And of course, I still have access to expertise because the third party company will provide the expertise that I need and I don't have within my personnel. So the company choose the ownership arrangement based on the benefits and trade-offs of each ownership. So, any question so far? Any question? Okay, so let's have a 10 minutes break. So we will be back at 10:21, and we will have an activity that we will do together. Welcome back. So let's continue talking about warehousing. So one more thing I want to talk about, because actually when I designed the activity, I included it in the activity, the design warehouse, sorry, the layout. Okay, so yeah, some very interesting actually terminologies, and of course it will depend on the industry. So the layout itself of the warehouse, it's a big deal in an operation, in supply chain management operations, because it's critical, because it has a direct impact on the operational efficiency. So we choose the storage method, and of course there are specific factors. For example, the product characteristics itself, the desired order picking, how we pick the products. So there are some practices that might some of you be familiar with, some might not. For example, slotting, a process where we determine the best location within the warehouse. Now we are talking about inside the warehouse to store specific products. So we analyze the product attributes. We analyze the demand patterns. And of course, the order picking frequency. So we can optimize storage efficiency. So for example, high demand items may be placed closer to the shipping area. So because we need faster access. Slow moving products will be stored in less accessible areas. We have also first available. So this is a practice where we place products in the first empty location within the warehouse. So it's simple, it's simple and convenient. So the characteristics, but again, we might have some inefficient picking patterns, but maybe the business can handle this. We don't have very much sophisticated, and here the goal here is to optimize the space. We have also fixed areas. So we have fixed area storage, specific sections or specific zones, and this will be numbered in the warehouse, are allocated to certain products, categories, for example, or specific product. And it will be known that this product is stored in this area. So this method simplifies the management of the inventory, retrieval of the product, but maybe not the most efficient strategy. We have also the ABC. So we classify products based on their demand, the volume of the demand, or even the value of the product itself. So for example, high demand products or high value products, we can call it class A, and it will be stored in a specific area with specific requirements. Okay, yes. We have also first in, first out, and we have last in, first out, and we have last in, last out. It's similar to first in, first out. So it's again, it's a method where we manage the inventory rotation, and usually we use this in perishable or time sensitive products. So we ensure that the oldest products are picked first. So, and why we do this? Because we want to minimize the risk of waste or something can go bad. Of course, there are other criteria that we have to take into account. The product characteristic itself. This might include the size, the weight, the shape of the product. Some products are irregular and some products are regular. The fragility of the items, the hazard. Some materials are hazardous. Also, some sensitivity to certain aspects, for example, temperature sensitivity or humidity sensitivity. And also if the product requires special handling. So these are all criteria that will impact the way we design the layout of the warehouse. So any question? Any question? Okay, we are a small group today. So let's go into two groups. Okay, one group will do full circle, and one group will do HelloFresh. So I want you to think of the warehouse. Where will you locate the warehouse? What's the layout design of this warehouse? Are there specific criteria that you need to take into consideration when to handle the goods or the material in the warehouse? So we have full circle and we have HelloFresh. HelloFresh, they have a big operation centers, of course, all over their markets. Uh, Full circle, it's one big, it's like a grocery store in downtown. So sometimes the storage is inside the place itself. Okay. So let's go into our breakout rooms, and we will have only two rooms, and I'll give you uh, 10 minutes to discuss, and we will be back in 10 minutes. Okay. Welcome back. How was your discussion?
Actually, Dr. Hanan, we didn't find any like valuable information in the website for full cycle, but we can discuss like general ideas about the how to choose the warehouse location, how we like design the uh, layout and this stuff.
Yes, and that's why when I was talking about this, I said it's like a big grocery store. So I wanted you to imagine, and even the photo that I included from inside the store, you can see how the products are located. And actually, they might have a small storage area, just like temporary, until they get the product to the display.
Yeah, as most of the fresh like produce providers, they will have
Mhm.
maybe like cold storage room or
Yes.
refrigerator.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And actually, sometimes the display areas are the storage.
Yes. So do you want
Okay.
me to give a general idea on what like we discussed or
Yes, 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 please do.
yeah, okay. So our understanding is that full cycle, because they sell fresh produce and dairy products. Number one, they will need to be closer to their targeted customers.
Mm-hmm.
So they will place their outlets, if we can say outlets, or
Mm-hmm.
stores next to their like targeted customers.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, they have to have well-designed storage areas. Let's say if they have products in the display and they need more inventory to be there, so they need some uh, refrigerated storage.
Mm-hmm.
So the products don't go bad like that fast.
Mm-hmm.
Number three, I think they will need a receive dock. Some
Mm-hmm.
this in this scale they will need maybe like one dock door and that's it.
Yes, at the back of the store, they
Yeah, and
have already one. Yeah.
yeah, and it will be same like receive and ship dock. So if
Mm-hmm.
they have any returns, they will use the same dock.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Do you think that they have some returns?
uh, so what I know from like my experience with dealing with the fresh produce companies, they will have a ship dock to a different stores.
Mm-hmm.
So here in Calgary we have Freestone. So Freestone, what I realized, they collect the products which is about to expire,
Mm-hmm.
and they will make a big discount on it. So it will be sold in like discounted prices.
Mm-hmm.
Customers will go somewhere else. Let's say this X amount of boxes, the retail sale is like $50. You can go and buy it from the discounted store for $10.
Mm-hmm.
So my understanding, they definitely should have some uh, reverse logistics, as we discussed in the course operation,
Mm-hmm.
either to the supplier himself or to a third party store,
Mm-hmm.
like for discounted price. But because it's always better to sell to to gain some money from your products instead
Exactly.
of destroying it or damaging it. I know
Exactly.
also some stores will donate to to the food bank.
Yeah.
Uh, so they, what I know, there are like three categories. Number one is donation.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is vendor return, and number three will be destroy. If they
Mm-hmm.
cannot get benefit of those products, they will just destroy it or dispose it.
Mm-hmm. 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 Well, based on the operations of this full circle, they are small company. They are a small company. I don't think that, yes, they might donate, they might sell it at a discount. And yes, there are some designated area in the store itself where you will get these discounted produce or discounted items. But again, there are certain aspects. For example, did you discuss first in, first out?
We didn't have time to discuss
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
first in, first out, but I think in some companies they will just go with the yes, first in, first out. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Here,
And,
because they are dealing
uh,
with perishable items and short lifespan, so it's a must to do this. Yeah.
correct.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Group 2. Hello, Fresh.
Yes, Professor. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. We had really an interesting discussion. We were trying to think of the operation like from beginning to end. So HelloFresh is. I have a question. Is it a local? Does it serve a small area or a large area? Because it wasn't showing from their website.
Okay. It's an international company with local branches. So, for example, here they will divide the market into territories, and they will have an operation center close or to serve this territory.
Okay, so relatively, it will be a large area to cover.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we were saying that they must have this. Excuse me. They must have that storage, their storage area, beside or near their, or even within
Mm-hmm.
their processing center. Okay,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and from the beginning, like they have to deal with vendors to purchase the items from them. Okay, so either they will deal directly with farms, or they will deal with other companies providing the fresh, and it must be fresh goods.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the storage must have dedicated fridges for raw meat and vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in addition to a normal area for the kit itself, for the packaging, and for the non-food items, in order to
Yeah.
be so all of this must be in the warehouse. It is
Mm-hmm.
preferable if they own the warehouse. It will give them um, more control and flexibility in adjusting it according to their needs,
Or a longer term.
or a long-term contract, of course.
Yes. Mm.
Okay, and they will also, since it is a fresh meal, so their what do you call it? Their items it has a week or so shelf life, right? Shelf
Mm-hmm.
life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they will have disposals if the quantity is not released, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they
Well,
will
not
have
all the product have this very, very short
of course,
lifetime. They might
some
have
products
spices,
are
oils.
exactly, some products might be common across all meals. So
Yes.
these items will have a long-term shelf life. In addition to that, we were saying that they should be following the first in, first out, in
Mm-hmm.
order to minimize their expiration.
Yes, the expiry, the things to go bad. Yes.
Exactly. I'm thinking that they should have like in advance planning, like for
Mm-hmm.
the number of meals, so their quantity will be sufficient. I'm not saying will be less or even very too much. Like they are
Mm-hmm.
ordering large quantities, but they will order based on predictions.
Mm-hmm.
They will order the quantities they require.
Well, there is something here. They have plans, meal plans. So the meal plans will help them to control the demand a little bit. Because as a client, yes, I have a every week I choose from specific plans, meal plans. So they will have some way to dictate the demand a little bit.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. If they can predict it, if they can like put the meal a week ahead, so they will have
Yes.
the orders.
Yeah.
They can plan accordingly. They can have a buffer, a small buffer, not a large buffer, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's it.
Okay. Okay. Very, very good. I will keep working on Moodle. Right now, I think I finished till week 6. You have the presentations. You have a link for the recording, and also you have an answers for the chapter. Have you noticed this or not? This is very important. This is the question bank that I will use for your final exam. And your final exam will be designed that you have like 1 minute per question or less. So please, please continue your readings. And when you finish a chapter, try to solve these questions on your own so you can test your knowledge. And for the 40% assignment, as I said, try to include some visual representation to show your the information that you gained through your research or the assumptions that you have for this company. Yes, Muhammad?
I just wanted to ask, do you have a specific date for the exam so we can plan ahead for our like days off if we need?
I think it will be the during the last week of the term. I need to arrange with student support because I'm not sure if the other subjects or the other courses that you have exams or not.
Yeah, we have exams in the other two courses, but it will be good if we have them in like let's say 1 week, so we can take like few days off to prepare for the exams.
Usually, what I do, I will make the exam open for 1 or 2 days. But once you start the exam, you have, for example, 2 hours to finish it. So the exam will be available, let's say, Saturday and Sunday. But it's individual. So whenever you start the exam, you have to finish it in one go. But you can start it anytime during the 2 days it's open. Those who attended with me the project management, they are familiar with this, right? So the quizzes or the exam was open for an extended time, but the time allocated for the exam is very, very short, of course, 2 hours, and you have to finish it in one go.
Okay, Dr. Hannah, can I ask you a favor if you don't mind? If it is possible to make it like available for a full week, because you know most of us are like full-time
Okay, I
employees. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
can do this, but even for a full, you know what I mean?
Sorry, your voice was cutting off. Can you please
Okay.
repeat that? Yeah.
Okay, I'm saying even if it is available for full week, you still have only the 2 hours allocated for the exam.
Yes, I totally understand.
Yeah.
I totally understand. So the reason for this request is, for example, for me, I work like nights, 4 days a week. Okay.
Okay.
I
So
won't have any
okay.
availability during those days to take my exam. So I will take
Okay.
it in my
Okay.
days off. So this was
Okay.
the only
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah. Okay. This I can do, but for all of you, the exam, if we agree, for example, that I will leave it for 1 week, it doesn't mean that you have the whole week to solve the exam. The model here is that, okay, let's say it's open from Monday to Sunday. So I will decide that Wednesday is the suitable day for me to take this exam. Once you click start, the time counter will count for 2 hours, and you have to finish it in one go. You cannot close it and come back to it. Okay.
Any idea about the exam format? Is it like multiple
It's
choice?
all multiple choice. All multiple choice.
Which is very good.
I was contemplated to include some short answers.
Please don't.
But that's why I will be so harsh with the individual assignment. I expect high quality individual assignment.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, so it will be all multiple choice, maybe true or false, something like this. Okay, so any question of anything that we covered?
Yeah, it's not what we covered, but can I ask question, Professor, about my assignment?
Yeah, you sent it, but I haven't gone through it.
Just because my question is, I cannot find in their website what the information I want to write on my assignment, and there's a email, and I contact them if I get information for them. But yes, they give me information, but how can I cite them? Because they don't see their name, they don't see.
Oh,
You can
no. You say in the APA style guide, if you can read it, personal communication.
Okay.
Yeah, you cite it as personal communication with the company, and you cite it easily. It's easily. Yeah.
In our assignment is between me and you only, because they want privacy. They don't want it to spread to social media or like that.
No.
So between
Yeah.
me and
Yes.
you only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It will be included in your paper, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Okay. Thank you so much, and I will keep continue adding to the Moodle shell, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Professor. Bye.
Professor,
Bye
thank
bye.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you, Professor.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.